Hello, and welcome to another lesson from Level Up Mathematics. In today's lesson, we will be exploring the distributive property and how the distributive property can help us find equivalent expressions. Before we do, let's talk about what an equivalent expression is. In expression 1 here, we have 4x minus 8. And in expression 2, we have the expression 2 times the quantity 2x minus 4. And what we want to do is we're going to use substitution to see if these two expressions are equivalent. So the directions say evaluate each expression below for x equals negative 2 to determine if the two expressions are equivalent. So what they're doing is they're giving us a value for x that they want us to substitute in. So here I'm going to replace the x in both expressions with a parenthesis. And then evaluate the expression for x equals negative 2. So I'll put a negative 2 there and a negative 2 there. So in my first expression, we have 4 parenthesis negative 2 minus 8, and that gives us a value of negative 16 when we evaluate it. In my second expression, I have 2 parenthesis negative 2 minus 4 close parenthesis. And that also gives us negative 16. Because we got the same value when we plugged in x equals negative 2, we know that these two expressions are equivalent to each other. So we could say that 2 parenthesis 2x minus 4 is equal to 4x minus 8. In other words, they're equivalent. They're equal to each other. Now, we can also use the distributive property of multiplication over addition to find out if two expressions, or to find an expression that's equivalent to an expression that has parentheses. So if you have the expression here, algebraic expression, a times the quantity of b plus c, you would simply multiply everything in that parenthesis by a. So a times b is ab, and a times c is ac. This is our distributive property of multiplication over addition. Now, let's look at the distributive property with some fairly easy examples, something you might have seen in previous courses. So, in example 1, it says use the distributive property to simplify the following expressions. So in problem A, we have 4 times the quantity x plus 2. So we'll multiply everything in our parenthesis by 4. So 4 times x gives me 4x, and 4 times positive 2 gives me positive 8. So I'll write down 4x plus 8. These two expressions are equivalent to each other, but the second one is written in simplified form. All right. In problem B, we have negative 3 times the quantity x minus 7. If I want to simplify that and remove the parenthesis, we'll multiply each term in the parenthesis by negative 3. So negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x, and negative 3 times negative 7 gives me positive 21. So I'll put plus 21 because the 21 was positive. Now, something interesting happens in problem C. We have a negative, and then we have the quantity 5x minus 6. When this happens, it may help you to write in a negative 1 there, so you'll remember what you're multiplying by. So negative 1 times 5x and negative 1 times negative 6. So negative 1 times 5x gives me negative 5x. And negative 1 times negative 6, a negative times a negative is a positive, so that would be plus 6. All right. In problem D, we have negative 1/2 times the quantity 8x plus 4. So I'll be multiplying everything in that parenthesis by negative 1/2. So negative 1/2 times 8x is negative 4x, and negative 1/2 times 4 is negative 2. Now, because it's negative 2, I want to write down minus 2. Excuse me. In example 2, it says simplify each of the following by distributing and then combining any like terms. So we're going to have an extra step in these problems here. And let me just show you what I mean. In problem A, we have 4 times the quantity x minus 3 minus 6x. So I want to multiply everything in this parenthesis by 4. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, so I'll put minus 12, and then minus 6x. Now, after you remove your parentheses, you always want to look around to see, do you have like terms? So I see I have 4x and negative 6x that are like terms. So 4x minus 6x is negative 2x, and then we have minus 12. All right, problem B. Negative 2 times the quantity 3y plus 5 minus 8. So we're going to multiply everything in our first parenthesis by negative 2. So negative 2 times 3y is negative 6y. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. So I'll write it down as minus 10. And then we have minus 8. All right, once you've removed your parentheses, you're going to look for like terms. And so I notice right here, I have a negative 10 and a negative 8 that can be combined. Now, if you struggle a little bit with your integer rules, you may want to put that in your calculator. So we know we have negative 6y and then negative 10 minus 8, negative 18. Remember, same sides, add. So because it's negative 18, I'll write it down as minus 18. All right, so in problem C, we have 7 minus the quantity 3x minus 4 plus 2x. Remember, to make this one a little easier, you may want to put in a 1 there. Now, once you do that, you want to be careful. You may be tempted to take 7 and subtract 1. Don't do that, because we must use the order of operations, which say that we multiply first. So I want to drop the 7 down and multiply everything in this parenthesis by negative 1. So negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4, and then plus 2x. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So negative 3x and 2x are alike, and 7 plus 4 are alike. So negative 3x plus 2x is negative x, and 7 plus 4, positive 11. All right, pause the video and try problem D on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. All right, I dropped down the 10y. I multiplied everything in my parenthesis by negative 5 and got negative 5. And negative 5 times negative y was positive 5y. Hopefully you were careful on your sign there. And then plus 8. Then I highlighted my like terms. I had 10y plus 5y. And then I had negative 5 plus 8. So 10y plus 5y is 15y. And negative 5 plus 8 was positive 3. All right, problem E. Pause the video and try problem E on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I had 8x. I multiplied everything in my parenthesis by negative 3. So negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x, and negative 3 times negative 4, positive 12. So 8x minus 6x gives me 2x, and then plus 12. All right, check your work. Fixed anything that you got wrong. All right, problem F. We have negative 5x minus the quantity negative 7 minus 4x. Pause the video and try this one on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I put a -1 right there before I started. I dropped down my -5x, and then I multiplied everything in this parenthesis by -1. So -1 times -7 was +7, and -1 times -4x was +4x. Then I combined -5x with 4x to get -x plus 7. So check your work and see how you did. Now, a lot of people get intimidated when there is a fraction in front of the parentheses, but you're going to do this the same way. You're going to multiply 3/4 times 12x and 3/4 times 24. So if you struggle with fractions, remember you can put this in your calculator. So I could multiply 3/4 times 12. Don't put the x in there, just the 3/4 times 12. And that gives me 9x. So 3/4 times 12x is 9x. And then I could change that 12 to a -24 to get -18. So 9x minus 18 minus 5x. All right, combine like terms, the 9x minus the 5x. So 4x minus 18. All right, problem H. Here we have two parentheses. So in the first set, you're going to multiply everything in this first parenthesis by 0.3. So 0.3 times 4 gives me 1.2x. And then 0.3 times -7 gives me -2.1. In my second parenthesis, I'm going to multiply everything by -0.2. So -0.2 times 8 gives me -1.6x. And -0.2 times 25 gives me -5. Now, combining like terms, we have 1.2x minus 1.6x. So 1.2 minus 1.6 gives me negative, whoops, I need my pen, -0.4x. And then we have -2.1 minus 5. So -7.1. So don't be intimidated if you have fractions or decimals attached to your parentheses. You can just use your calculator to double check your work. All right. All right, in example 3, we can also use the distributive property if we have a division problem. So in this problem, it says if A, B, and C all represent real numbers, then B plus C divided by A is the same thing as B over A plus C over A. Now, let's talk about what that means in the real world. Say you had in problem A, 8x plus 4 divided by 2. We could simply write that as 8x divided by 2 plus 4 divided by 2. You're simply going to divide each term by 2. So 8x divided by 2 is 4x, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right. So in problem B, we have 25x minus 50 divided by 5. So that's the same thing as 25x divided by 5 minus 50 divided by 5. So 25x divided by 5 is simply 5x, and 50 divided by 5 is 10. So 5x minus 10. All right, in problem C, we have 2x minus 16 divided by 4. So that's the same thing as 2x divided by 4 minus 16 divided by 4. So 2x divided by 4. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2 x, and 16 divided by 4 is 4 minus 4. All right, pause the video and try problem D on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. I rewrote this as negative 9x divided by 3 minus 27 divided by 3. So this would be negative 3x minus 9. Check your work and see how you did. And that concludes today's lesson on the distributive property.